What's going on, YouTube? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update today of Litecoin. Right now we're sitting at $149.41. We're up about 5%. What I want to do is really look at the price action of Litecoin today. And I also want to know, do you guys like when I do these individual Litecoin updates, or do you like when I cram it together with all the other altcoins that I cover? So I would like for you to let me know down low if you like these individual Litecoin updates. Like I said, you guys have always been awesome. Tons of likes, shares, all different types of stuff. And I really appreciate it. And if you want me to keep doing them like this, we'll do this once or twice a week where we just cover Litecoin and specifically look at Litecoin's price action. So let me know down low, guys, and let's dig into this. So first of all, what I wanted to point out to us today, you can see we had a strong defense of the 50 moving average. And we've always talked about that, guys, right down in here, where that wasn't a bad spot when we were up in this area to potentially put buy orders in at. Because in this space, we get wicks sometimes even 10, 20, 30% digibite. It's been up to 50% wicks. So in my opinion, one of the best things if you're interested in the market and you see a correction coming is to put those limit buy orders down in these ranges off these moving averages, like the 50 or even down to that 100 if you feel like that's a spot at that 101. Now, I'm not saying we're going to get back to that area now, because what we've actually had is a little bit of a bounce up here. Now we're just moving sideways. So we're going to have to see if we're able to hold roughly about $143 as support. If we hold $143 as support, the next overhead resistance we're going to be looking at is the 14 moving average. So we're looking at the 14 moving average today. That's going to be in yellow. In purple, it's the 20 EMA. In pink, it's the 50. In orange here, it's the 100. And then in white, it's the 200. And what you can see is we lost this 14 moving average, which for the most part, we stayed up above it this entire uptrend that we were just recently dealing with here before we had this dump in this correction. So we need to start having candle closes back up above that again today at 155. So that's the overhead resistance we need to break through. If we have a daily candle close up above that, we look up to around $167 right in this range. And then it'd be up to around that 181. Okay, but the most important thing right now that we're looking at is defending that 142, because if that's not the case, then we'd have to look down to this 50 again, and that'd be around $125. Now, the thing is, Litecoin correlates very well to Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin pumps, a lot of times Litecoin will pump as well. It's kind of an oscillator off Bitcoin. It's just a little bit more extreme is what you deal with Litecoin. So if Bitcoin doesn't get moving here to the upside, or we just move sideways, keep an eye on Litecoin to kind of do the same thing. Not saying it always happens, but it's something I keep an eye on. If Bitcoin gets moving, then most likely Litecoin's going to get moving as well. And if we take a look at Bitcoin here, just want to bounce out quick, take a look at the price. I've been very busy today, guys, with my other business, so this is the first time I'm looking at Bitcoin right now. So Bitcoin's still up above our 20, our 50, our 100, and our 200. You see we wicked up right to around that 14 moving average. We have lost that, but this is an area we may just move sideways before we get that next explosive move to the upside and try to get over top of roughly, we'll call it $42,000 right in that range. So what I'd be doing is, if I'm trading Litecoin, I would be specifically looking at what Bitcoin's doing and then trade Litecoin off that. So going back to Litecoin now, a couple things I wanted to point out here with the price action and also some oscillators. So our stock right now is at 15 and 15, and this is on the 1-day time frame. And the nice thing about that is we haven't really been that low since the last time we had a positive cross with this bullish engulfing candle right here. You can see this bullish engulfing with a stock cross right in that range, and that's what helped us get moving to the upside, right? And now you can see if we can continue to consolidate here, this may be the next area that we can build support and then get that nice move to the upside. And the thing that's a benefit for us here, the RSI, the relative strength index, is not in that overbought territory. We're not sitting at 150 while our RSI is up in the 80s or 90s. We're back around 54. So if we do want to get this moving, we have enough room to do that, but it's going to take that buying pressure and also Bitcoin moving as well. So you always need to be aware of that, guys. And you know, I had people tell me, hey, is this a good buy, this or that? Guys, you got to do your own research for yourself. I don't know if you're swing trading, scalping, long-term investing. You know, for long-term investing, if you're buying anywhere, 150 or under for Litecoin, most likely down the road, it's going to be more valuable than that. And that's just my opinion on it. It's not financial advice. Anything can happen in this space. Anything can happen in the world. But if I'm looking at it, I believe we'd have much more room to potentially get over top of that $150 as the days, weeks, and months continue. And the reason I say that for Litecoin, number one, it's been in the top 10 for how long now? Okay, so it's consistently top 10. There's not a ton of them circulating. Supply, I believe, is around 70 million, 66 million, 70 million, right in that range. So when money comes into that, it can really pump hard. And also, it's on so many exchanges, and also with PayPal adopting it. When people get in, and this is how I was. When I got in, Litecoin was around, I think, $32, and Bitcoin was like at $1,200. And even at that time, I gravitated towards Litecoin or towards Ethereum, whatever you can get that's a full coin. And I believe many people are like that as well. And I think when people see Litecoin and the potential for it, and even the markup that Grayscale has, if you want to invest in it, you know, I think Litecoin is a great long-term hold. I guess that's what I'll say. I think it's a really good long-term hold. I think it's a project that has proven itself over time. And that's just my opinion, not financial advice. I know people always want to hate on Litecoin, but, you know, guys, we went from roughly about $41 all the way up to 181, and that presents great trading opportunities. So now it's just finding that base again, building that base so that we potentially can get that next leg up to the upside. And if we zoom out here, I just want to show you the big picture of Litecoin. Take a look here. I want to get the RSI off. And also, guys, if you get some from this, me being honest with you and truthful with you and not pumping you up and telling you Litecoin's going to $5,000, let me know down low. I just can't bring myself to do that type of stuff. I don't want to do that stuff where Bitcoin's going to $1 million, this and that. It gets everyone's endorphins all crazy, and, you know, anything can happen in this space. It just is what it is. Look at the massive dumps, guys, where you can lose 80, 90%. I mean, look at these dumps over here, 40%. This was like 60, I think 60% to the downside. So always being risk aware first. Never invest more than what you're willing to lose. And that's not a cliche. Really, if you wake up tomorrow and your whole account's gone, it shouldn't affect your food, your mortgage, all that type of stuff. Only invest what you're able to lose, okay? We don't want you stressed out. That's the main thing. But as we look at Litecoin here and we step back, you can see the all-time high that we had. Let's go up to the wick here. Was roughly about $409. The next major overhead resistance area that I would say would be about 257, because there's some pretty decent gaps in here. Yeah, there's little minor resistance, but for the most part, they're big gaps because of how far that we fell to the downside. And then I'd be looking most likely at about that 181. So that's the thing. If we can get over 181 in the weeks to come here, it could really present a nice opportunity up into the $200 range here. But you can see how this uptrend, this has been so nice for us, and that's what we're looking for the longest time. We were in that bear market, and that's not when you want to trade here, right? Unless you're shorting the market, which I wouldn't suggest in cryptocurrencies unless you really know what you're doing. But you can see here, for the most part, when we got in that bear market, every time we hit that 50 moving average, we got pushed to the downside. And it's kind of like what we're dealing with now. Typically in uptrends, when you hit that 50 moving average, then you'll get pushed back up to the upside. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. If we get into the technicals, on the 1 day, we're looking at a 5 sell, 8 neutral, and a 15 buy. Oscillators 2 sell, 7 neutral, and 2 buy. Moving averages 3 sell, 1 neutral, and a 13 buy. So that's what I wanted to bring to you today, guys. Let me know down low if you like it. I appreciate you being here with me today. God bless each and every one of you. Take care.